Hello everyone, welcome to the second ever episode of the podcast Beautiful You. I'm your host Avantika. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you had a great last week, and even if you didn't, that's okay. We can have a better time this week. Speaking of better days, I haven't had the best couple of days. I haven't been myself for a while, and it has been difficult to get out of it, to be myself again. And last night I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I need to get myself out of this whole thing because no one is going to do that for me. No one is going to make myself feel better. I'm the one who has to do that. And it made me realize how important it is to know when you have to be gentle with yourself and when you have to be strict with yourself. But also be strict with kindness. Be firm with yourself with kindness. You don't want to devalue yourself. You don't want to demotivate yourself. You don't want to give yourself a negative talk. That's what society is for. I'm kidding, but am I really? Anyways, in today's episode, I want to talk about things that help me be more confident during interviews. Now, to be honest, I didn't have to give one until March this year. And within a span of 8 months, I ended up giving 7 interviews. I learned a lot from each one of them. And just like everyone else, I would watch a couple of YouTube videos, prepare myself for some basic interview questions like, tell me about yourself, what are your strengths and weaknesses, or where do you see yourself in 5 years, or what is something you're proud of, why do you think you're a good fit for us, basic questions like that. And the videos were kind of useful. They even reminded me that, we need to keep smiling, don't stutter, take pauses, don't talk too fast, don't talk too slow, don't slouch, don't fidget, stuff like that. But what really helped me was getting into the right mindset. So here are a few things which proved effective for me to be more confident in interviews. First of all, do your research. Know what you're getting into. Prepare yourself for it. And I don't mean just look into them. I also mean look into yourself. Ask yourself, will your strengths and interests align with the roles you will take over? So my first ever interview was for Christ University. I thought that was like the only college that I had, like I could go to for BSc Psychology. I thought I had no choice if I wanted to study that, and I applied for it. I didn't really like their values or their curriculum or like the way they conducted college. Basically, it wasn't appealing to me at all. But I thought I had no choice, and I cleared the first round. I got an interview for it. Prepared myself through videos and such. It was my first ever interview. It didn't go great. I didn't get into the campus that I wanted. Or at least that I'd applied to. Anyways, to be honest, I was kind of relieved when I got an email that said that, you're not getting into the Bangalore campus, you're getting into the Delhi campus. And I was like, fair enough. But when I look back, I realized that not only did I seem less confident, but also that they didn't seem to be the right fit for me. That brings me to my second step. So when you do think that you will be a good fit for someone, that you do deserve a certain position or a certain seat in a college, ask yourself, are they good enough for you? Are they deserving of you? Will they contribute to your growth? And it is such an important question to ask yourself, because once you know that, you will contribute, you will be an asset to them and they will be an asset to you, and when you're confident in that, it is much easier to be more confident in interviews. So I had applied to another university for psychology. I loved their curriculum. I really wanted to get in. There were 2 rounds I had to clear, and then I got an interview. So now that I look back, the interview was kind of difficult, to be honest. They did not ask any typical questions. They were basically, I told them that I played badminton for my school when they asked me, tell me about yourself. And the rest of the interview was about badminton and psychology. And they really put me in spot. But I told myself that, I will be an asset to them. I know for a fact that I'll be an asset to them. And I know for a fact that they will contribute to my growth as well. So, what's holding me back? So I just gave my all in, got into the university. Unfortunately, I had to turn it down. But yeah, I had an amazing time talking to them. It was good. So it made me realize that getting into the right mindset was so important. I did the same thing with another interview for a paid internship, and I got that as well. And then in my current college that I'm in, there's an entrepreneurial club. I can never pronounce it right. I have always wanted to learn more about entrepreneurship, and I applied for the club. I was very nervous before the interview. Like 15 minutes before it was scheduled, I asked myself, I was like freaking out. I was completely freaking out. Also, the construction started again. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. Anyways, before 15 minutes, I took a step back. I was like, okay, Avantika, do I think I'll be good enough for them? And the answer was yes. Then I asked, are they good enough for me? And I was like, yeah, they seem to be. And I was so confident that we would be a good fit. I had an amazing time talking to them. I mean, they were just students. And I know it's not some corporate level work. It's not like the biggest achievement, but it is definitely a small win. Because how you approach little things in life will decide how you approach the bigger things. The interview was basically for the administration department, but I was interested in events, so I was recommended based on that interview. I was later told that she loved my resume and the interview so much that even if I hadn't gotten into the events department, I still would have been a member of the admin department, which made me happy. Like, it genuinely made me happy, because it's like the small tricks that I used on myself to get into the right mindset actually worked. Again, like I said, it's not the biggest achievement, but it is how you approach small things in life that really matter. The third thing that I want to share with you guys is that it is very important to remember that the interviewers and you are on the same side. They are the ones who do want to recruit you if you are the right fit for them. So don't be too shy to talk about yourself. The interview is happening because they want to get to know you, because they're interested in you. So show them that you're the right fit and that you're interested in them too. You can watch as many videos as you want, but everything really depends on how you choose to do it yourself. Also, another thing that I do genuinely believe in is that one should never settle. You should aim for what you think you deserve, work for it, because no one is going to hand you on a silver platter. But trust me, you're so much more capable of doing what you really want to do in life. But at the same time, it's very important to remain humble. Which brings me to one of my recent mistakes. I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake, but it wasn't the wisest move, but I learned from it. So basically, there was this organization, and I applied for a position that I had no experience for, or experience in rather. I was talking to a friend, and she told me that it is very important to apply, but not apply for something you don't have any experience in. You need to build yourself up to that, and I was like, yeah, that is so true. Do I think I'll be able to handle that position? Absolutely yes, but not right now. Maybe in a few months, a year or two. It's not that I don't deserve it, or it's not that I don't think I will be able to do it, but right now, at this moment, considering my skill set and experience, there will be people who will do better than me. So I aim too high in the present. It's honestly, there's no such thing as aiming too high, to be honest. But right now, there just would be better people who would be able to handle that position. So yeah, it's important to be humble, to know your strengths and weaknesses, to know what things would be good for you, like what things you will be able to do better, what things you will be able to do, like well you will be an asset. That is very important, because there will be people who will be better than you, who will be smarter than you, stuff like that. But you need to seek in yourself what separates you from them. I know it's all big talk, but it's important to be self-aware about your weaknesses as well, and to work more on your strengths. I guess there are some people who say that make your weaknesses into strengths. There are some sayings which say, oh, ignore your weaknesses and work on your strengths. I think that you need to work on your strengths as well as see how you can convert your weaknesses into strengths. Does that make... Yeah, it does make sense. I need to stop doubting myself so much. I need to stop saying, does that make sense? Of course it makes sense. Anyways, to recap all the points. First, know what you're getting into. Then ask yourself, do you really have the skills and the mindset for it? Then ask yourself, are they good enough for you? And lastly, always be humble. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you took something from this episode. I would love to hear some feedback from you. And if there are any tips that you followed which worked for you, because honestly, these things that I've mentioned in today's episode, I did not see them on the internet. I mean, I'm sure they must be there somewhere, but I didn't come across them. It was from experience. So if there are some things that you follow or which you don't follow, which helps, because sometimes, knowing what not to do is a good thing too. So just let me know. My Instagram will be, I'll note down my Instagram and email down below. You can even, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Anchor, I think you can even send me voice messages. So go ahead and do that. Thank you for tuning in once again. I hope you have a great week and see you on the next episode. Bye.